local network.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Cloud. Welcome to The Storm, and thank you for watching today on WYLN TV 35. Well, it may be summer, but the fall general election is less than 3 months away. Be sure to exercise your right to vote. Many fought, bled, and even gave their lives for your right to do so. Among the big races this election cycle, the race for state representative of the 119th District. Earlier this summer, I had Republican Justin Behrens on the show. Today, I will have the incumbent, Democrat seeking re-election, State Representative Jerry Mullery. So stay tuned. He'll join me in studio after the break.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
What's on TV? Plenty. WYLN TV 35, the best in local programming.
To translate a vision into reality is true innovation. At Car Arms, we not only manufacture some of the most advanced firearms on the market, we build assurance and reliability through a solid history of quality. We pride ourselves on offering concealable, performance-driven firearm systems that exceed expectations time and time again. Car Arms, American ingenuity at its finest.
Go hog wild for Iron Pigs baseball. WYLN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs live. America's favorite pastime on your local network, WYLN TV 35. See the stars of tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WYLN TV 35. Visit WYLNTV.com for a complete Iron Pigs schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WYLN, your home for live sports.
Welcome back to The Storm. Today I am joined by State Representative Jerry Mullery of the 119th District. He's a Democrat and he is seeking re-election. Thank you so much for coming on The Storm.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Well, I'm happy to have you. You know, I do see State Representative Mullery a lot of times out and about, particularly at veterans events. I bump into you quite often up in the Freeland area where my husband and I do a lot of things with the vets. So I'm really glad that you took the time to come on the show. I know there's a lot going on right now with flooding, et cetera, in the district, and that you've been very busy, actually.
Yeah, it's been a very busy time. State work is extremely busy, campaign work now. With the weather we've had some very sketchy situations going on in the Plymouth Township region, but I'm more than happy to make some time, speak with my constituents through you, and share in some lively discussion.
Okay, well, wonderful. Well, I want to start with the basics, Jerry, just so for the people that may not know, because there was redistricting a few years ago, and there's actually still confusion about this with some people. What are the areas that make up the current 119th district?
So I represent 19 communities. On the west side, I have Larksville, Plymouth, and Plymouth Township. When you come across the river, I have Nanticoke, Newport, Hanover Township, Warrior Run, Sugar Notch. I come up the mountain then, so I have New Angola, Slocum Township, Wright, and Rice, and then we head down into the bedroom communities of the greater Hazleton area. So I have Foster, Freeland, Whitehaven, Jeddo, West Hazleton, and Hazel Township.
Okay.
A few of those I share with some other state representatives, but that's a pretty large swath. I think I got what was left. When everybody else did their gerrymandering, I got the communities that I have now, but I'll tell you what, when I first ran, 4 terms ago. I never in a million years thought I would be in Freeland or Whitehaven, but the reception we've received there has been tremendous. Love the people, love the outreach, have great working relationships with the community and civic leaders, so it really has been a blessing.
You ran for the first time, you were saying, what, about 8 years ago it was? Okay. Why did you decide to run for office back then?
Well, when we came back, I went to law school in Pittsburgh. My wife is my high school sweetheart. We've been together for 32 years. We always knew when I went to law school that we would come back because we loved it here. This was our home. This is where our families were. So when we returned and I began my legal practice, we were always involved in community and civic activities. We were going to the veterans events. We were helping in the Little League, the PTA, things along those lines. But I thought I could do more. When Senator Udechok decided to leave his House seat and run for the Senate, I viewed that as an opportunity to have more of an impact on the communities that were so dear to my heart. And I ran on a very simple platform and have carried that platform with me through 3 re-elections, and it's my platform to this day. I've realized that the people of the 119th District don't want a lot from their government, but what they want is important. They want us to fight for and retain family-sustaining jobs. They want us to lower their taxes. They want safe neighborhoods. They want quality public education. And they want somebody to fight for the environment. And I've done that for 8 years, and for as long as the people of the 119th continue to elect me, those are the things that that will be my passion and that I will fight for.
Talk to me about when you mention fighting for family-sustaining jobs. I mean, I realize the government doesn't create jobs. You know, government can create an environment that helps jobs come into the area. What have you specifically done in that regard?
I can give you some very specific examples. What we've done, and when I say we, these are all group efforts. Oftentimes, it's if it's a locality, it's maybe me and Senator Udechok, or it's the entire Northeast delegation, Republican and Democrat. We get along very well here. But let's look at Hanover Township and Nanticoke, for example. We took mine-scarred land and reclaimed it, developed it, and what you've seen now is an organization like Chewy.com come in, 1,300 jobs. Adidas just announced they're coming in, over 1,000 jobs. Patagonia coming in, over 1,000 jobs. In the Hanover Township and Nanticoke area, that's a big deal. As we move up to the mountain, look at On Semiconductor, $52 million expansion, 70 family-sustaining jobs. These are high-tech, skilled trade, engineering jobs that are going to provide high wages. I went out and met with them about 2 weeks ago. They think that investment has the potential to quintuple. So you're looking at $250 million investment right there in the mountaintop region. Other organizations that have come into the Crestwood Industrial Park, Look Trailers, we brought them in from Indiana. As you move down into what I call the bedroom communities of Hazleton, Irish USA, Coordinated Health, we've been able to get involvement with the governor's action team, a strong bipartisan, bicameral, united front with folks in the Northeast delegation to make this a very attractive place for businesses to come and oftentimes, more importantly, stay. Where we've had businesses come to us and say, hey, listen, New York, North Carolina are making us some pretty unique offers. What can you do? Who can we involve to keep us here because we like the staff that we have, we like the base, the education, et cetera. So we've done a lot. So I mean, I just described the potential of about 5,000 to 10,000 jobs. Right. I can even cite when the announcement was made about 1.5 years ago to close some prisons. You saw just a completely united front, Senator Udechok, Senator Baker, Tara Toohill, Eddie Day, Mike Carroll, myself, to present a package to the administration, bringing in all of the local players, presented it en masse, and were able to save 3 prisons here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Thousands of jobs.
Yes, and I do recall that. I want to get back to, you mentioned taxes, and you mentioned that one of the things that people want is lower taxes. And certainly, you know, some of us from at least my side of the aisle would argue that the federal tax cuts may have played a role in stimulating the overall economy. I want to ask you, where do you stand as related to our corporate tax rate in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania? I've been talking about this, Jerry, for years. It's 9.99%, the second highest of any state in the entire country. And I would think it's a deterrent to some companies coming in. What can we do to tackle that? It
absolutely is a deterrent. There are several bills introduced every session to reduce it, some to 7.9, 6.9, 5.9, 4.4. I think I co-sponsor every single one of those bills because I realize what we have to do as a government is make Pennsylvania a place where businesses can't afford not to do business here. So I don't like talking in a double negative, but that's exactly what we can do. Why that bill or those bills or any of those bills haven't gained traction, I can't answer. Again, I don't like to talk politics or get partisan, but there is one party in control, and they have a great majority. I, as a Democrat, am in a super minority in the House. Senator Yishak, for example, is in a super minority in the Senate. In my particular chamber, Speaker of the House, Mike Terzai, controls the calendar. He decides what bills we vote and what bills we don't vote. And for some reason, that bill has never made it on his agenda, so we've never had the opportunity to push it forward. But I am a stalwart supporter of it. I am a co-sponsor on several of those bills. And
related to taxes, I want to ask you another question on taxes, which is property taxes. A lot of people, certainly in the greater Hazleton area, are for property tax relief and certainly property tax elimination even. Where do you stand on this?
So it is the #1 issue in my legislative district. Not a single day goes by where I don't have somebody ask me about property tax elimination. House Bill 76, Senate Bill 76 is the only bill that my constituents know by number. It's probably the only bill that they have a great knowledge and a grasp on the specifics of it. For the past 4 terms, the prime sponsor is Jim Cox, a Republican from the Lancaster area. He has tried to bring in 5 Republicans and 5 Democrats to act as the prime sponsor. He's identified me from day one, so I've, for the past 8 years, have been one of the 5 Democrats that has been the heavy proponent of it here in northeastern Pennsylvania. We have an event coming up in September at King's College, a forum specifically on HB SB 76 that's going to have gubernatorial candidates, state Senate candidates, House candidates. I encourage everybody in the listening audience to come down and be a part of that, because it's going to be a very informational session for people.
And with that, we're going to have to go to our first break. We will be right back on The Storm.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to watch archived shows and a live stream of our broadcast shows. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. WYLN, we're your local network.
The Hazleton Wine and Beer Festival is Saturday, August 25th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Hazel Township Big Ruth Field on Hazel Township Boulevard. Come sample great craft beers and wine, taste some great food, and listen to some fantastic music. Ostrich Hat kicks off the day at 11 a.m. and Cartoon goes on at 2. Tickets are available in advance at hazeltonrotary.ticketleap.com or at any of the places listed on your screen. Vendors are still wanted. Send an email to hazeltonbeerfest@gmail.com. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Do you have odors and dampness in your basement and crawl space? An unhealthy home begins with problems in damp, poorly ventilated areas. The conditions down below nurture molds, dust mites, and result in a buildup of gases and pollutants that can cause serious illnesses, like asthma, emphysema, and some cancers. The pollutants work their way up to your living quarters, infecting your entire home. Wave ventilation for moisture control and air quality can solve this problem. The unit's unique technology is designed to replace the damp, stale, polluted air with dry, fresh air and maintain a healthy, comfortable environment all year round. Unlike dehumidifiers, there's no buckets of water or filters, and it costs about $3 a month in electricity. Protect your home and family. Get to the source of the problem with Wave Ventilation. Call now. Make Wave Ventilation your answer to healthy living. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
FunFest is celebrating 40 years. Come to downtown Hazleton September 8th and 9th for Greater Hazleton's largest free family festival with great ethnic and festival food, activities, games, the animal show, fun inflatables, a car show, and great entertainment all weekend long. Fireworks start at 8 p.m. on Saturday, and on Sunday, it's the Great FunFest Parade. Admission is free, parking is free. Call 570-455-1509 or visit funfestpa.org. FunFest is made possible by these sponsors.
Welcome back to The Storm. So, State Representative Jerry Mullery here on the show, 119th District. He is seeking re-election. Be sure to exercise your right to vote in November. I'd like to hear from you what you're most proud of over, especially the last 2 years that you've been in office, but really what you think some of your biggest accomplishments are.
Sure, Tiffany. I break those into two different groups. So I call my constituent service like pride, and the second is my legislative pride. So on a constituent service level, I am extremely proud of my staff. 3/4 of my staff has been with me from day one. Statistically, we are one of the busiest offices in the state. We have 2 offices, one in Nanticoke, one in Freeland. We have a high volume of walk-in traffic, telephone traffic, internet traffic. So we are helping people with their problems, with their issues on a daily basis, and the feedback we get is tremendous. So I'm extremely proud of that. However, we've taken it a step further over the course of the last 8 years. We try to take our constituent service into the community. We started with community outreach in municipal buildings and libraries and senior centers. We've transferred that into town halls, teletown halls, and most recently we've started our 119 initiative. As I mentioned, I represent 19 communities. We've decided to spend a day, 2 days, or 3 days in each one of those communities, whatever it takes, to meet with business leaders, civic leaders, government leaders, most importantly the people, and find out what issues are they having with state government, how can we help, are they aware of programs, things like that. And we end every one of those with a town hall meeting. And I'll admit some of those town hall meetings only have 5 or 6 people.
Okay.
Some have been standing room only.
How many of them have you had in your 19?
10. So we've been through 10. And we took the summer off because people are away.
Yeah.
People are going on vacation, so we thought, but we were already planning our next 2 for later this month.
Okay.
So we will finish all 19 by November, and they have been tremendous, the feedback that we've received. We've done Main Street walking tours. They've been great, so very proud of that. We also started, in the wake of Parkland, Florida shooting, our Youth Advisory Council.
Okay.
After that tragic event, we saw a lot of those kids from that high school go on national TV and talk about their experiences in the school on that day, what they would like to see changed policy-wise, what they expected from their government leaders. And I thought those kids were so passionate, so eloquent, that they inspired me. And then something even worse happened, I thought. You had talking heads, national media folk, national politicians tell those kids, listen, you're young, you're naive, shut up, go back to school. It infuriated me because I have been in all 7 schools that I represent multiple times. I've talked to kids just like those kids, and I knew I had kids equally as passionate, equally as eloquent, who wanted to be involved in their government, even though they weren't old enough to vote. So we decided, let's give them an opportunity, let's give them a platform, and we asked kids from all 7 of our schools to apply. Very short application, name, address, grade, teacher recommendation, what issues are important to you? What do you want to talk about with me? We chose 28 kids, and we had our first meeting in the summer, and it was a round table. All 28 kids showed up at a pizza place in Mountaintop, and we just asked simply, what's important? What's on your minds? What issues are you having? For 3.5 hours we talked, as open and as honest as you couldn't believe. It was inspiring. These kids had no filter. They were brilliant. They were intimidating because they were so smart. Since then, we brought up the Auditor General. We brought up the Attorney General. They're coming to a policy committee hearing I'm having next week. We've been contacted by county government, state government, and federal government officials who want to partner, who want to meet these kids, who want to expose them to things, and these kids are energetic. So we have some great things planned, and I look forward to working with them over the course of the next year.
Well, that's really nice too, because my very first show that I did, gosh, like 7+ years ago, was with the president of the Young Republicans and the president of the Young Democrats, because I've always believed in engaging our youth more in the political process and in general in just dialogue about the community. So that sounds like a very positive thing.
It is.
Happening.
I'll make a pitch right now. I mean, a lot of those kids are from the greater Hazleton area. As I represent MMI, I represent Hazleton area, I represent Crestwood. If you ever want some of them on here, I guarantee you they would love to come on and hash politics out with you.
Well, that would be fun.
But
they'll probably whoop me a couple of them. I'm sure.
They've already whooped me. I'm telling you, these kids are brilliant. So those are some things from a constituent side, from an in-district side that I'm very proud of. But we also have some legislative accomplishments just in the last year. I was asked to chair a subcommittee on technical education and career readiness. We toured all four corners of the state and everywhere in between and met with teachers, guidance counselors at these trade schools. And what we found out was that there is a dire need for tradespeople here in the Commonwealth, and that these students, I don't want to call them kids because it's military folks that are coming back from their years of service, it's older people who are transitioning into another job, and then it's young kids, are able to get a certificate in 18 to 24 months, little student loan debt, and get hired in jobs
that
with
pay
$50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. Some of these schools I was at, you have companies come in on graduation night and multiple companies submitting envelopes to these kids with offers. And these kids get to decide which job best suits them, in which location, at which salary. And we just have to get over a stigma associated with a skilled tradesperson, because too many parents, too many teachers, too many guidance counselors want to direct these young people to a four-year institution.
And not everybody is meant to do that, and that's okay.
That is absolutely okay, but how do we get over that stigma? And I think we do it by having hearings like I'm having next week in Nanticoke, where we say these are the jobs of the future. These aren't your mom and dad's factory jobs. These aren't your parents' skilled jobs where you're going to come home and have to take a shower in the basement and get out of your dungarees. These are jobs that are computer-based. These are jobs that, like you mentioned, pay very high family-sustaining wages. They're jobs that people could be proud to have, and they affect us on a daily basis. So we're trying to encourage people down that route. So I view that as one of my major goals in the future, to continue pushing that as an opportunity for people not only in northeastern Pennsylvania, but the entire state and the nation. One of the speakers at my hearing next week is going to be an executive from Microsoft. And I know for a fact, because I've met with her a few times, the one thing she is going to say is, we have 30,000 computer science jobs available in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We have 4 computer science teachers in the Commonwealth. If those jobs can't be filled here, these companies are going to be forced to leave.
Sure. And
people in North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, wherever, are going to get these jobs that should stay here. We need to convince our kids. And these are the jobs we talked about on semiconductor earlier. Those are the jobs.
Right.
They have a direct pipeline with Kings, Wilkes, Penn State, Hazleton, and they're bringing in engineers and skilled folks to fill those positions. We need to encourage that.
Okay, and with that, we're going to go to our next break. We'll be right back on The Storm.
Perfect.
You can watch TV in your house. You can watch TV on a couch. You can watch TV in the park. You can watch TV after dark. You can watch TV in a cave with a guy named Dave.
I'm Dave.
I like to watch TV here and there. Let's all watch TV everywhere. Wherever you go, take your favorite programs along with Service Electric's TV Everywhere. Visit www.sectv.com to create your free account and start watching today.
Join us this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. You'll meet Jim Antonelli, a gentleman who had a traumatic car accident and was in a lot of pain until he found Dr. John and Dr. Stacy, and chiropractic care helped him back on his way to wellness. His story this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. Join us.
For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road, Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields. All stations are handicapped accessible with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. There are packages available to fit anyone's budget. Restaurant and catering on site. Our facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor and private parties. Call 570-384-2314.
I'm Gary Perna, News Director and reporter for WYLN News.
With a decade of experience in local news, I'm proud to be part of the #1 local news team, WYLN News. When local news happens, you can count on WYLN News to be there, whether it's in McAdoo, Harrisburg, or right here in Hazleton. We've worked hard to be your #1 local news station, and we'll continue to work hard to stay #1.
Welcome back to The Storm. So State Representative Mullery, in the last segment we were really talking about some of the constituent services that you were most proud of. I wanted to pick up this final segment talking about some of your legislative accomplishments.
Absolutely, Tiffany. First, as part of that subcommittee I chair, we, after touring all 4 corners of the state, developed a plan to accomplish our goal of making these routes of education more attainable for our citizens. And we came up with a package of 9 bills, bipartisan, 5 Republican bills, 4 Democratic bills. One of those bills was mine, but obviously as the chair, I championed all 9. We were able to get all 9 of those bills passed unanimously through the State House and sent to the Senate. Since then, we've been lobbying with Senate leadership in the Labor Committee, Senate leadership en masse. We've been told we have the full support of the Senate, so it's just a matter of getting those bills on their calendar and voted so that we can get them back to the House and send them to Governor Wolf, who we've met with, and he is championing this issue as well. So we're hopeful to get that entire package passed by the end of this session, so I'm very proud of that. Secondly, just within the last month, after meeting with kids on my Youth Advisory Council, in addition to talking about bullying and school safety, they also talked about the amazing uptick in the use of electronic cigarettes in school and on school property.
Really?
And they wanted to know, what can we do about that? So I met with their school resource officers, went out to all the school districts, and the school resource officer said, this is a major problem. We don't have the ability to even cite these kids because the old law never anticipated a nicotine delivery device like a Juul or an electronic cigarette, so they're not violating the law.
Right.
So I crafted legislation that would make that illegal, presented it to the Judiciary Committee run by Republican Chairman Marsico. He said, I can't believe that we have to deal with this. He fast-tracked it. We got it on the House floor, passed unanimously. Again in the Senate. I'm meeting with Senate leadership to try to get that back so that we can get that done before the end of this session as well. Another thing I'm very proud of, just yesterday, received notice from the 4 most prominent environmental advocacy groups in the state: Penn Environment, Clean Water Action, Conservation Voters of Pennsylvania, and the Sierra Club, who informed me that over the past 2 years I've scored 100% on their environmental scorecard, and they've identified me as a quote environmental champion. It's the 2nd term in a row that I've achieved that score, and I'll tell you, I'm very proud of that, because if we don't have fresh air and we don't have clean water, it doesn't matter what else we're doing in Harrisburg or in Washington, D.C., because then we're just not sustainable for life. Also, I understand how important the rich history of outdoor sports are here in the 119th District in northeastern Pennsylvania.
I do know you're an outdoorsman.
Love it. And I get a lot of inquiries from my sportsman constituents about what we're doing to keep Penn's woods safe, to keep Penn's streams clean, so that they can continue to hunt and fish and hike and boat and just enjoy nature. And I also understand how much of an impact outdoor sports in the Commonwealth have on our economy. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So to receive that acknowledgement from those conservation groups makes me extremely proud, and that is directly related to my votes on issues over the course of the last 24 months.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show. I wish you the best of luck in the upcoming race. And remember, folks, when you look around and you don't like what you see, don't complain about it. You can do something about it. You can vote, and thank you for watching.